Welcome to Sun City in Focus, a lively look at people, places, events, and lifestyles of the original Sun City.
Hi, I'm Annette C., and today we're back from the summer break with an episode I'm sure you'll enjoy. But first, let me remind you that Sun City in Focus is created for your enjoyment and entertainment entirely by the volunteers of the Sun City in Focus Committee in affiliation with the Camera Guild of Sun City. If you would like to be involved in the production of this video magazine, watch for that information at the end of the show. And now our crew takes a look at the variety of ways Sun Cityans handled the heat this summer.
Hi, I'm Janet Wood. I teach aqua fitness and I'm a member of the Sun City Stars swim team. As you know, it gets pretty hot in Sun City during the summer. We all have our own ways of dealing with the heat. Drink plenty of water, 2 to 3 liters a day. Dang, that's a lot. Or walk early, and that includes your 4-legged friends. Or jump in the pool. I am in the water a lot, and one way I like to keep cool is to wear hats. I have this hat. Here's another one. How about this one? And another one. Did you notice they're all pink? In this episode of Sun City in Focus, we're going to see what different ways you handle the heat.
How do you handle the heat? Well, I get up very early in the morning. I get everything I have to do outside done first. Then I run around, get some of my errands done. And then I stay in the afternoon and get out again in the evening. And I also go swimming.
How do you handle the heat? I stay inside all summer long and read lots of books in the air conditioning.
And how do I handle the heat? Well, the same way you do up north when it's wintertime. The good news is we don't have to shovel the heat or scrape it off our windshields.
And how do I handle the heat? I just stay inside and quilt all day. Sit in my sewing room with a glass of wine and work on my quilt.
And how do I beat the heat? I get up at 5:30 in the morning and exercise and go to water aerobics, and then I take a good cold shower.
How do I handle the heat? Well, there's hats for me because I'm bald. And also, short sleeves, cold drinks.
The way I deal with the heat is definitely put up the sun shield on my windshield, drink a lot of water, and I put ice cubes in my dog's water to keep it cool.
Well, when I first got down here, I just copied what the locals did. Keep your skin covered in the heat of the day and plenty of hydration. One of the more important things is don't forget to eat.
Just the love of golf. You gotta do what you gotta do. And you run for the shade and drink lots of water.
I drink a lot of water and wear the appropriate clothing.
Well, I still work and I enjoy the heat.
I just stay in the pro shop. That's what I do.
What he said.
Oh, I carry a rag, I wet it down and everything, and I just kind of clean up myself with it and go on to the next hole. How do you handle the heat?
I handle the heat by coming to the dog park, getting my dogs exercise, then I go to Bell and go swimming, and I'm home for the day.
I don't handle the heat. I got my fan, I got my other fan.
I don't, I stay in the house.
How do you handle the heat?
We can't handle the heat.
we bring our dogs, so. How do you handle the heat, guys? How do you handle the heat?
The pool here at Marinette is a great way to handle the heat in Sun City. If you have an interesting way that you handle the heat, please fill out the comment section below.
Thanks, everyone. That ice cream sounds like a wonderful way to beat the heat. Or maybe this fan is more your style. Next up, as you know, Viewpoint Lake is undergoing a multi-million-dollar renovation. Rich Hoffer is going to fill us in on the process that led up to the renovation and will show you what has been happening over at the lake.
One of the crowning jewels in all of Sun City happens to be right next to me. Viewpoint Lake has been around for 50 years, half a century at Lakeview Rec Center. And it's enthralled and delighted and thrilled members of the RCSC, their families, and their friends. But you see this fence that's right next to me here. I'm about as close as I can get to Viewpoint Lake. And that's because not all is rosy here. The problem is Viewpoint Lake is leaking. In fact, it's been leaking for 2 decades. Back in 2005, the feeling was that Viewpoint Lake was losing more water than just through evaporation. Studies were done that showed the lake was indeed leaking. In 2009, there was an attempt to rectify the situation, but it didn't work. RCSC management looked at every possible avenue to stop the leakage, but was unable to find a workable solution. Then in 2012 and 2013, the RCSC entered into an agreement with the Arizona Department of Water Resources. ADWR would forgive the leakage if RCSC would update the irrigation on 6 of the 8 golf courses. That solution worked fine until the rules changed, and it became apparent that the RCSC needed to deal directly with the lake's leakage. The RCSC realized that this was a once-in-a-lifetime project, and they wanted to do it right. So 2 firms were hired back in 2019 and 2020 to come up with engineering solutions. And the technology had advanced enough to allow the lake to be drained, the sludge removed, the concrete walls to be rebuilt, and a new liner that's 4 or 5 times thicker than the current liner to be installed. One of the things that needed to happen was that all of the homeowners' boats, as well as the paddle boats and the rowboats that the RCSC keeps for its members, had to be removed and stored. That's a process that not only is time-consuming, but could require some heavy equipment, as you see here. Next up, the floating dock that was where all of the RCSC boats were moored was taken out. It had to be moved to an area where a crane could lift it out of the water and store it during the rehab. And what about the fish? Viewpoint Lake is well known as a wonderful spot for sport fishing. All of the fish still in the lake had to be moved. That required more than a couple of guys with fishing poles. It meant that the lake had to be sectioned off. and the various sections had to have a special boat to take care of the fish. The electrodes off the front of the boat, as you see here, put a small electrical charge into the water that stunned the fish. They were then brought out with a net and put into storage. Over 2,000 fish, weighing 3,000 pounds, were removed from the lake. Now don't worry about the health of the fish. They're doing just fine. They've been relocated to the Desert Harbor Lake, just down the road off 91st Avenue. When the project is finished, the lake will be restocked with new fish for the fishermen to enjoy. And what about the actual need for a new liner? Well, as you can see here in these videos, the current liner, that's that black cloth-like piece, it's pretty well torn up after a half a century. And you'll notice that the concrete embankment is also looking like it's seen better days. So the crew will tear out the existing liner, the sludge underneath, and the concrete embankment and rebuild all of it with a new, much thicker liner that will better withstand the rigors of the lake, as well as an embankment that has less of a slope to it. So if someone falls in by accident, they have a much easier time getting out. Well, as you can see, the water level here at Viewpoint Lake is down a lot more than it was back at the beginning of the summer. It won't be long now before the work crews are able to get in and tear out the liner, tear out the sludge, and take out that concrete wall that runs the entire circumference of this lake, 33 acres of it. Then they'll be able to rebuild everything, and we'll have a Viewpoint Lake that we'll be able to enjoy and be proud of well into the future. And Sun City in Focus will be here to document the progress of this project as it moves along. From the shores of Viewpoint Lake at Lakeview Rec Center, for Sun City in Focus, I'm Rich Hofer.
Thanks a lot, Rich, for all that information. Some of those fish sure looked pretty big. Our last segment today is another trip to the lake's east-west maintenance yard. Construction is finishing up, and as we promised, we're there to show you the progress. Also, the Sun Bowl fall concerts are back, and we have a list of the October shows for you to put on your calendar. For those of you new to Sun City, know that they are free and fun to attend on a Sunday evening.
What's up, Sun City? This episode, we're going to go back over to the lake's east-west maintenance building construction site. Also, it's fall concert time at the Sun Bowl. We'll let you know who's playing in October. But first, let's check out that construction site.
Focus Committee would like to thank you for taking the time to view our production today. Give us a like below if you enjoyed it. And of course, we couldn't have produced it without all of the fine volunteers from the Camera Guild. Now, if you're interested in joining us, we'd love to talk to you about it. You can work behind the scenes, run a camera, or be a face on camera. All you have to do to get started is send an email to the address below and we'll get in touch with you. I'm Annette C. for Sun City in Focus. See you next time.
This show was produced by volunteer members from the RCSC Sun City in Focus Committee for the entertainment and enjoyment of current and prospective residents of Sun City, Arizona. Anyone wishing to join the committee and participate in the production of future episodes of this program may contact the RCSC Board of Directors office at 623-561-4600 or email boardoffice@suncityaz.org.